Hello, 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 hello. Hey, everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. All right, so ultimately, right? This is going to be Life Path 3. For Life Path 3, to determine if you're a Life Path 3, add up all of the numbers to your birthday. And when it's reduced, if you get a Life Path 3, you're a Life Path 3. If you're an 11, 22, or 33, those are the only three numbers, sometimes 44, right? But if you're either one of those master numbers, then you don't have to reduce it, all right? That's that part. For this reading, we won't necessarily explore things like zodiac signs. If it comes up, we'll talk about it. But we're not going to really go into that. What we're really going to focus on is the situation it is that you could have go on, some of the causes that would have come into place with it, and possibly find some solutions. All right, all right. So yes, this is to trigger you to some of the solutions it is that you will have in regards to different situations. All right, all right. So we're gonna kick it off with the murder of crows, right? See exactly what spiritual messages and contracts it is that will be going on, and hopefully to give you some insight on what could keep or get you into alignment. All right, all right. Not all readings are going to resonate with everyone. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. That is okay. That simply means that this reading isn't for you, all right? And if it don't fit, don't force it. If it does, don't ignore it. All right? All right. All right. So life path 3, right off the bat. You're going to want to pay attention to different opportunities. It was different opportunities and whether pay attention to whether it was an opportunity or it was an illusion of an opportunity, or if it was a manifestation of what it is that you would have been feeling and would have needed to pay attention to at the time, within the relief of burdens inside of one's mind, and there being protection and there being a celebration. So, Life Path 3, what is really given is for you to pay attention to different situations where you would have been letting things go. Some of it is going to be in regards to what it is that you will actually celebrate. What constitutes as celebratory? That's one of them. The other portion of it is in the emotional state that you would have been in, whether you would have been nurturing or you would have been discovering or you would have already had knowledge in regards to it, especially when within the whole illusion, the illusory. That's that word. Illusory, right? Aspect of what it is to be protected inside of one's mind and for one's mind to be protected. The other thing that is going on is in the spiritual aspect, how what's really kind of calling out in the uh this is giving pain body, y'all, for real. What will be coming through for you to review and is the different painstaking is what is given. The pain body aspects of an illusion, whether it be in the physical or the mental, and how one would seek out protection through the spirit. No, because okay, so Life Path 3, one of the things that is given is within the understanding and uncovering of uh, intelligence, because that's typically what Life Path 3 is about. Uh, the more you know, right, in regards to it, and also how it is that you would be guided in emotions. Like, say, for instance, in the balancing out aspect, regardless of what sign you are, one of the traits that I'm kind of seeing go wrong is you would see what it is that would cause mental stress and then respond out of that with celebrating. Okay, but what you want to evaluate is if the problem is fully over for you. or if it's complete, and whether or not it's something that needs to be medicated. No, because within those varying situations, not everything requires medication. Yeah, I'm kind of okay. What I'm hearing right now is you gotta feel it to heal it. That could be one of them, but in a situation, a person feeling it, yeah. If there's what is given is you already experienced it at a celebration, and it seems like with these cards that came out is you already experienced it with the ending of the main female. Some of it is going to be about being what it is to be a main female or a primary uh feminine essence in one's life or in your life, right? And how it would end. One of the things that it feels relevant for me to say this right now. One of the things that comes into place with parenting, right? I remember my grandfather, he said this. He taught this to my mom. He was like, okay, they're all grown and they're all raised. Now you have to get them married, right? And that was something that's customary for the feminine aspect, right? Now, true enough, even if you're talking about a man, right, he has to have that feeling that he wants to make those types of commitments, and even within the commitment of a celebration, what it is to her strut their stuff. Yeah, it's a strut their stuff, right? Now, the thing that comes into place with that is how with a male child, how they have feelings, right? And is the mother's responsibility, right, to ensure emotional health for the male until he gets a wife. That's the thing that we don't necessarily talk about a whole lot in regards to raising a male child. You don't hover over them. You let them do what they got to do, but you do have a responsibility until they're married, right? As a parent. Yeah, it's not one of those they just 18. You just let them do whatever they want to. At least that's what I personally have noticed happens with the families that have wealth that extends beyond that particular generation. That's the practice that I've seen them engage in. So there's that portion. The other part of it, yeah, the other part of it is in life path 3, within there being this ending, death, or this funeral to the main female, they're being I heard mad. Okay, they're being bad health, false person, and sudden wealth. In short, the wrong person getting sick, being really sick, or an actor being really sick. I'm hearing 4 weddings and a funeral. And if you've ever watched Al Bundy, he says it sounds like 5 of the same things to me. I'm sorry, y'all. That came out. That's kind of what that's given, and how uh, one's commitment to bad health. And one of the things that's kind of coming up in my mind's eye is when a person comes out as a bad health thief, meaning they will be a healer. Now and yeah, because some of this other stuff some of this is gonna be that you need to pay attention to life path 3. What it is that would have taken place at some funerals or some initiations, good, because those constitutes as initiations or funerals, like ego deaths more so than anything, and how a person would have gotten sick because they would have been the wrong person for it. And within the transformation, what this is giving is within the relief of the burdens, there being the transformation of bad health into sudden wealth. The wrong person receiving sudden wealth. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say it because it's coming out right now with and that being the reconciliation. People, what I've noticed is pay attention to where you put your money, and within putting your money where your mouth is and your mouth where your integrity is, If you have the money to pay someone to do something bad, you should have the money to pay someone for something that they did good and they did right. That's pretty much what I'm getting from that. Within there being an influence of, like reconciliations with, yeah, with false persons and false people, and is, yeah, and you count it as one for, yeah, you count it as one for you, count it, yeah, and the whole, I'm hearing something about taking one for the team and all this other stuff. Yeah, no, because there are individual people that will be involved in things, and this is what, in regards to what's clearing out, right, in regards to this whole the chariot aspect. Some of it's going to be about police expectations and the reality of how the dark and the light both are fast moving, right? But there's this fast moving essence and enlightenment of what it is that would have been hidden last month, what it is that would have been hidden in regards to one being an empty cup, what it is to be an empty cup or an empty vessel in this situation, and that being the wealth of it all. Now, the other portion of it, right, with this whole moon essence, it's also given the wisdom of your emotions, and whether you refer to moon essence and moon energy in the, I'm hearing the word plot of what it is that you would have nurtured versus the wisdom that's applied. For instance, if we were to put this in, say, for instance, the policeman aspect, it'll be about things that would take place in July. And there would have been some, yeah, policings or policies. There would have been some thoughts inside of a person's mind that would have been celebrated, but not necessarily, um, but there would have also been protection that would have come into place with it, but not necessarily recognizing the span for which it would have happened. So, Life Path 3, what you really want to review and pay attention to from what this is given is what it is that took place that you saw versus what it is that you knew would have been hidden in the shadows. Yeah, the difference between whether you with somebody else or you by yourself and things. Yeah, in short, because you want, one of the things that is really given isn't like in the teaching aspect. This is what is given. You have some people who work really good in groups because they get to uh see someone else accomplish the goal, so to speak, and they can get one-on-one tutoring or instruction from one of the other persons in the group, right? Now, versus when you're an independent learner, right? You don't necessarily need the glue. Mm. You don't necessarily need the group, right, in order to achieve whatever your goal is. That is determined when there is a group setting, right? This is what I mean by it. In the dynamics of project work, right? You always have one person, or you should assign one person to the paperwork, one person to the visuals, one person to the actual grounding work, meaning like where it's supposed to take place and the foundational work, and then you have one that would go out and get resources and support, so to speak, right, when you're breaking down the parts and elements of any task. And that's just for if it's just four people, okay? Now, what ends up happening is the same thing that happens with calling the corners. It's the same thing that happens with calling the corners, if you understand what that means. Okay, so there's that portion. But you also have to pay attention to if uh, one person makes a mistake or doesn't do their part, guess what? It lowers the grade for everybody. Or the other option in it would be if that person doesn't do it and it's recognized that that person didn't do their part for whatever reason, the work still has to get done to ensure that, yeah, if you're, and this is going to also talk about if you're a type A personality or a type B personality. So you need to know these things. Yes, that's critical information you need to have about yourself, life path 3, within reviewing what it is that will be what's going on in regards to what it is to be a main female. Yeah, and the false person, what it is to be a false person. Yeah, false person. Sometimes it's gonna be about actors and actresses and faking and all this other stuff. You don't have to necessarily take it there, but you can. Yeah, because when you're an actor or actress, method acting, if you have to fall into a role, and the difference between falling into a role in your waking life, in your day to day life, and you know that that's not really you. Yeah, that's the method acting. But even with method actors, they always have an understanding, and even within the method of applying any type of knowledge, there's always an understanding that there's a separation of who you are from who the other person is. All right, B community. You are a powerful creator. Your work blesses everything you touch. Be open to receiving sweetness. You are the queen of abundance. Personal choice. Ensure this what this is given is you have a choice. In everything there is always a choice. Right? Even in the collection of information, you can see what is valuable information versus what's not. That's that part. The other portion of it is with the rise of artificial intelligence and yeah, and the exposure that comes into place with artificial intelligence and how there's been a lot of different situations going on with cloning and all that. What it's kind of giving is who cloned Tyrone. So pay attention to even those types of situations. Okay, and then there being the drag or personal choice. Close your eyes. What animal do you imagine? This is if you're what this is given is that you're searching for your spirit animal. Okay, but what animal do you imagine? What strengths are they known for? What wisdom do they share? Embrace these qualities. You need to, and even within the embracing of the qualities, I would like to also state, please, 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 make sure you are in a higher vibration when you are understanding those qualities, because if yeah, because when one gets into the illusion aspect, depending on what the illusion will call for, it may attempt to pull at the animal instinct of destruction, but you don't necessarily have to go into that, because the reality is typically animals only kill if they're hungry. So what? Or yeah, they only seek out. That's one of the primitive needs. You get what I'm saying? And paying attention to what will fulfill your hunger. So, dragon, the next one is dragon. Supernatural. You are the ancient wise sage. You can shape shift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. Dragonfly magic. This is the second time this is these then cards then came out like that. Okay, so in any event, let me let me finish. Sorry. Dragonfly magic. I embrace my transformation. I courageously let go of the past. The magic of nature is in me. I am brilliant and I am blessed. Black bear or guardian, gentle and wise protector. Give me your confidence and power. Help me protect the ones I love. Awaken my intuition and guide me. Hawk or messenger, spirit is sending you messages. Open your great open your greater vision to see the signs. Focus on priorities and eliminate distractions. You have a bright future. Let yourself ascend to new heights. And penguin or authentic. Reach out to your tribe in times of need. Family gives you strength when you face the storm. Love your uniqueness. You are full of surprises. Break free from others' expectations and just be yourself. All right. All right. And I'm going to do a quick little summarization and then we'll close this reading out and seal it. All right. So ultimately, what you want to pay attention to, life path 3, is the primary person that you would have pulled your emotions from that would lead you to make different decisions about what constitutes as an illusion or an opportunity, or you completing an emotional cycle in regards to what burdens it is that would need to be let go to ease your mind and to keep you protected. All right, and how it is that a mama bear. So for instance, yeah, the parenting aspect, because all of these have like the family things, but how would one's family protect them in regards to walking through life with confidence and grace? You have power from beyond the world. Focus on what you really want. You can create your dreams. All right. And then that way you can celebrate. All right. All right. So I'm going to close and seal this reading. If you like to schedule your own personal sexual clarity, you're more than welcome to do so at lightwork at gmail.com. All right. Because see, remember, light work, it ain't light work. It is not light work. It's not light work. And that's why you have to stay light while you work